A leader uprooted Assad's Syrian exit. The world watched in astonishment. Bashar al-Assad, the seemingly unshakable president of Syria, was gone. Evacuated by Russian forces on December 8, 2024, Assad's departure marked a stunning turn in the long and bloody Syrian conflict. The fall was swift, the images dramatic. Assad, once the picture of defiance, was now a leader in exile. In the days following his evacuation, a wave of speculation swept the globe. What had happened in those final hours? Why had Russia intervened so decisively? And what did this mean for the future of Syria? Assad himself, maintaining a defiant tone, insisted that he had not abandoned his people. He claimed to have been forced out, a victim of circumstance rather than a leader in retreat. On December 16, 2024, Assad broke his silence. Speaking from an undisclosed location, he painted a picture of a leader determined to stay and fight. He railed against the insurgents, labeling them terrorists and vowing to return. His words, however, rang hollow to many. The reality was clear. Bashar al-Assad was no longer in control. The Syrian people, long accustomed to his iron rule, now faced an uncertain future. A future without Assad at the helm. The question on everyone's mind was simple yet daunting. What comes next? Damascus falls, the Insurgent Surge, December 8, 2024, will forever be etched in Syria's history. It was on this day that the seemingly impregnable city of Damascus, the nation's beating heart, fell to a determined insurgent offensive. Led by the formidable Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, the insurgents launched a lightning assault that caught Assad's forces off guard. The offensive was swift and brutal. HTS, known for its tactical prowess and unwavering commitment, exploited weaknesses in the Syrian defenses. Damascus, once a symbol of Assad's enduring power, crumbled under the weight of the assault. The speed of the insurgent advance shocked the world. Assad and his loyalists, facing an insurmountable enemy force, were forced into a desperate retreat. They sought refuge at the Russian base in Latakia, a symbol of Moscow's unwavering support for the Syrian regime. The fall of Damascus sent shockwaves across the region. It was a clear sign that the balance of power in Syria had shifted dramatically. Assad's grip on the nation, once thought to be unbreakable, had been shattered. The question now was not if Assad would fall, but when. Under fire, the attack that sealed Assad's fate. The Russian base in Latakia, once considered a sanctuary, became a target. On the night of December 8, 2024, hours after the fall of Damascus, a swarm of drones descended upon the base. The attack, shrouded in darkness, was precise and devastating. Explosions rocked the facility, sending shockwaves through the night. Russian forces, caught off guard, scrambled to defend the base. Amidst the chaos and confusion, one thing became terrifyingly clear. Assad was no longer safe. The drone attack, a brazen act of defiance, had exposed the vulnerability of the Russian base. It was in the aftermath of this attack that a decision was made. Assad had to be moved, and quickly. Russia, fearing for the safety of its ally and its own personnel, decided to act. Under the cover of darkness, a Russian aircraft carrying Bashar al-Assad lifted off from the besieged base. His destination, Moscow. The evacuation, a closely guarded secret, marked the end of an era. Assad, once the undisputed ruler of Syria, was now a fugitive in a foreign land. Section 4, From Damascus to Moscow, a Timeline of Upheaval. The fall of Bashar al-Assad stunned the world. A seemingly unshakable regime crumbled in days. Here is a timeline of key events leading to Assad's evacuation. December 8, 2024. Insurgents launch a surprise offensive on Damascus. The attack is swift and decisive. By afternoon, Damascus falls. Assad flees to the Russian base in Latakia. That night, the base comes under heavy drone attack. The assault results in significant damage and casualties. Russian forces evacuate Assad to Moscow. The operation is carried out under secrecy. December 15th, Russia evacuates some diplomatic staff. December 16th, Assad releases a statement from Moscow. He insists he never intended to flee and vows to return. Section 5. Global shockwaves. Reactions to Assad's evacuation. The world reacted with a mixture of shock and uncertainty as news of Assad's evacuation spread. International players, long accustomed to the dynamics of the Syrian conflict, were forced to reassess their positions. The implications of Assad's departure were far-reaching, with potential to reshape the geopolitical landscape. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, never one to shy away from commentary, weighed in on the situation with characteristic bluntness. He applauded the fall of Assad, labeling it an unfriendly takeover orchestrated by Turkey. Trump, a vocal critic of Assad throughout his presidency, praised Turkey's role in supporting the Syrian National Army, a key player in the insurgent offensive. The United Nations, meanwhile, adopted a more cautious tone. The UN envoy to Syria called for an immediate end to the violence and urged all parties to engage in dialogue. Recognizing the dire humanitarian situation in the war-torn nation, the envoy also called for the lifting of Western sanctions on Syria. The international community found itself at a crossroads. Assad's removal, while welcomed by many, had created a dangerous power vacuum. The question now was how to navigate this new reality and chart a course towards a peaceful and stable Syria.